So for this look, I'm starting out with my eyes first, so I'm just priming my eyelids with my concealer. And then I'm going in with the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. This is my favorite palette that has come out in a very long time. I love all the warm shades. That's like my personal favorite. So I'm going to start off with this first shade called Raw Sienna. It's coming off on camera more warm than it is in person. It's kind of like one of those colors that have an olive undertone, but it's like kind of on the warm side, but it also has some cool tones in it too. And for this look, I just wanted something to start off that wasn't too warm because I'm going to be using some very orangey and reddish shades, and I just wanted to kind of control the warmth to start out, if that makes sense. So I'm just blending this through my crease and my eyelid. Then I'm going in with Burnt Orange, and this is kind of the same color, it's just a little bit more warm. Definitely not a burnt orange shade. It kind of reminds me of Peach Smoothie by Makeup Geek. So I'm just kind of doing the same thing, just not blending this on my lid as much, more focusing it through the crease. This is usually what takes the most time, is blending. You just really want to make sure that you blend out each color just so you don't have any choppiness throughout your eyeshadow. Next I'm going in with this chocolatey brown shade called Cypress Umber, and I'm going in with a little bit of a more dense brush, and I'm just going to put this on the outer corner of my eyelid, and you have to really take your time and blend this shade out because at first it kind of looks a little bit choppy, but if you just keep blending, it all comes together. So I just go back and forth from each eye, and I just keep blending it out, adding more where I feel like I need more. But with this shade, a little goes a very long way, and I just keep blending and blending and blending. Then I'm taking this true burnt orange shade called Real Gar, and I am putting this kind of above the crease just to blend and make sure that there's a lot of orange in this look. And I'm also wrapping it around my eye. This kind of gives you that blown out smoky look, and when you have your lashes and liner and everything on, it kind of just peeks out from the top of it all, and I really like doing this. It's not as necessary to do this step right now because when I do my concealer and everything, it kind of covers it up. So I go in again basically at the end and do the same thing again. So it's not necessary to do this right now, but I am going to kind of wrap my eyeshadows around my eye to the lower lash line. And then I'm taking the shade called Primavera. It's a very metallic, kind of champagne gold shade, and I'm putting this all over my eyelid. I'm going to focus it more on the inner corner, and then as I kind of blend out the product, I'm blending it back and fading it towards that darker color. I don't want this gold shade to completely cover my whole lid. I kind of want there to be some dimension in the eye, so I don't put as much product towards the outer corner where the darker brown shade is. And then I go back with a little bit more eyeshadow. I think I just used probably Raw Sienna, and I just blended those two together just so there wasn't a line in the middle of my eyelids. And then of course I go back in and blend the crease a little bit more. I do that throughout the look. And then for primer, I'm using the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I love this primer. It just makes you look very hydrated and radiant, and I just have been really liking putting that under my foundation lately. And then I'm using the Makeup Forever HD Stick Foundation. I have a love-hate relationship with this. This is kind of how I feel like it works for me. I always blend it out with a foundation brush that is damp with some Fix Plus. It kind of shears out the foundation a little bit so it's not as full coverage. And I kind of just do 2 stripes on my cheeks, 1 stripe on my forehead, and then through the T-zone I kind of dot it just so it's not as heavy, and I really find that that works best for my skin with this foundation. And it really makes me like this foundation a lot more. You know the drill. After foundation comes concealer. As always, I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. I just can't get away from this one. I've been trying some new ones recently, but nothing compares. So I'm just using this concealer as always and blending it out with a damp beauty blender as always. And then to set my concealer, I'm using the Anastasia banana powder. I just have the banana powder and a few contour shades in a little Z palette just because it's easier, because I don't use all of the shades that are in her contour kit. And then you see me now just kind of wrapping that eyeshadow around my eye. This just makes it very blown out and smoky. And I'm just kind of starting with the lighter shades that I used in my crease and going 1 shade darker, 1 shade darker. And I'm just going back and forth and really wrapping it around my eye and making sure to blend it out. Don't be afraid to really blend it out. It's not going to make you look like you have raccoon eyes. It's such a light shade that it just really makes it blown out. How many times can I say blown out? And then I'm going in with MAC eyeliner in Costa Riche. It's a very warm brown. And I'm putting this in my waterline just to add some drama to the look. And then I'm taking that Cypress under eyeshadow and putting that on a definer brush and kind of smoking out my lower lash line. And then I'm taking my favorite bronzer, which is Benefit's Hula Bronzer. And I'm not contouring today, I'm just bronzing. So I'm just taking a big powder brush from Morphe and blending that on my cheekbones and also on my temples. And then what I've been doing recently when I don't want to contour is I take some translucent powder. This one is by Tarte. And I kind of carve out the underneath part of my cheekbones, not really contouring, just kind of cleaning it up so the bronzer doesn't fall below my contour line. And I'm using a Real Techniques contour brush for this, and then right away, I'm not baking, so right away I'm just dusting that off of my face. And then for blush, I'm using the Jaclyn Hill and Becca cheek palette, and I forget these two names. I think one is Amaretto, the other one is something spritz, I can't remember, but I will have that in the description box. And I'm just dusting that on the apples of my cheeks and blending it backward. For eyebrows, as you can tell, my eyebrows are tinted, so I don't have to fill them in much. I kind of just define them a little bit and brush them out with the little spoolie. For eyeliner, I'm not doing a wing or anything. I'm just doing a thin line of liner on the top. I'm using Makeup Geek's gel eyeliner. And then I already did my mascara, top and lower lashes. And then I'm using House of Lashes Iconic Lashes. These are my favorite. They're really dramatic, but still more on, like the inner corner isn't too dramatic, it's more on the outer corner. And then for highlight, I'm using Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop in the Champagne Glow Face Palette by Jaclyn Hill and Becca. And I'm just highlighting my cheekbones and the tip of my nose. And then since my shirt is kind of off the shoulder, I decided to highlight my shoulder and collarbones. You basically just want to bathe in highlighter here. That's pretty much the main goal. And I'm really annoyed at all my faces while I'm highlighting. Um, yeah, so just put highlighter anywhere that you see skin. And then I also highlight my inner corner and underneath my brow bone. And then for lips, I'm using Gerard Cosmetics 1995 lipstick. And then that was a little bit too warm for me with this look, so over that I put Kat Von D's Lolita liquid lipstick. And I just think that it is the perfect shade to complement this look because it's not too warm and it's also not like a purpley undertone either. And then obviously I just snap my fingers and my hair is done because that's how it works, right?